everyone. Welcome into NFL Total Access. I'm Omar Reese, and we're now less than a week away from the 2021 NFL Draft. 6 days to be precise. Precision, one of Mac Jones' strong suits. We'll tell you how far that might take him up or down the draft board. Our Super Bowl champs are here, James Jones and Michael Robinson, plus a very special guest, ESPN and Monday Night Football's Louis Riddick joins us in a minute as well. But we start with another blockbuster trade shaking up the first round of the draft. The Ravens are sending Pro Bowl tackle Orlando Brown to the Chiefs in exchange for Kansas City's first-round pick. A few more selections are involved, and for more on this trade, let's welcome in our NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport. Ian, you reported a couple months ago Orlando Brown wanted out of Baltimore, and now he gets his wish. What more can you tell us about how this deal came together?
And not only did he want out of Baltimore, he wanted to play left tackle, wanted to uphold the legacy of his father, and just viewed that as where he should be playing, especially because he played so well last year at left tackle for the Ravens, who have Ronnie Stanley coming back from an injury. So what Baltimore did was trade Orlando Brown and make him the blindside protector for Patrick Mahomes. Here's the deal. You're seeing it right there. Mainly Orlando Brown and a 2 and a future 6. And the Ravens get a first, a third, a fourth, and a future 5. You put all that together, Omar, it is essentially the value of the number 45th overall selection. So basically, they traded him for 2. Couple important things here. The Chiefs did not believe they could get a tackle of this caliber at number 31 in the draft. That is why they made this trade, obviously protecting Patrick Mahomes of the utmost importance. I am told Orlando Brown is expected to play out his deal, so no extension is coming. And then, of course, as I mentioned, despite the fact that the Ravens traded a Pro Bowler who played left tackle last year, they also get Ronnie Stanley back to play left tackle this year. They have a hole on the right side, but obviously a little different for Baltimore.
We know Patrick Mahomes walks on water in Kansas City, and to paraphrase the Big Lebowski, nobody messes with the Jesus, certainly pouring a lot of investment into protecting Patrick Mahomes. And he was all smiles, tweeting the happy face on his Twitter earlier today when he found out that Orlando Brown is now a member of the Kansas City Chiefs. And much more on the draft discussion. Let's say hello to James Jones, Michael Robinson, and ESPN's Louis Riddick, who'll be on the big stage in Cleveland next week. We are cordial here at NFL Total Access, Louis, so we'll start with you. The 49ers got all this trading in the draft started last month as they moved up to number 3 overall, presumably for a quarterback. Who do you think the 49ers should take there at number 3 if it's not Mac Jones?
Look, if it's not Mac, I think Trey Lance from North Dakota State makes a lot of sense. Number one, because of the way that the quarterback room is constructed in San Francisco, with their intent on keeping Jimmy Garoppolo around at least for 2021. Trey needs that. Trey needs that veteran presence. He would tell you that. His coaches will tell you that. Any quarterback coach, quarterback guru would tell you that he would need a year, ideally, to go ahead and kind of get his feet settled and get his base settled and then take off in 2022. Number two, if you watch how the offense was constructed at North Dakota State, it looks just like a Kyle Shanahan type of offense. It looks just like a Matt LaFleur, an Arthur Smith type of offense. A lot of 12 personnel, a lot of pre-snap shifts in Atlanta. If he doesn't go to Atlanta, there's going to be a team that's moving up quickly to get him. So, you know, either way, Trey Lance is winning, man. He's winning regardless because people know how good he is and people are coming to get him.
Louis, man, that's why I rock with you so much, big dog, because you're absolutely right. That style of a quarterback is perfect for Kyle Shanahan's offense. Now, I do agree Trey Lance is a year away. But when I look at other quarterbacks in this draft, the guy that's ready to play right now, and that's Ohio State's Justin Fields. This kid is amazing, right? When we're down, we might be outmanned offensively. And to me, Justin Fields is the guy to do that. In every big game, this kid has showed up. People talk about him throwing the football and maybe having some whatever work habits or whatever that stuff may be off the field. 78 touchdowns, which led the FBS in the last 2 years. Come on, man. These guys don't just grow on trees. If I'm Kyle Shanahan in the San Francisco 49ers, I'm looking at Justin Fields. I'm looking at the 2-time Big Ten Player of the Year to be my quarterback of the future going forward.
Mike Rob, let's not run him off the show, man. We want Louis to come back, man, but we're going to tag team him on this. because I agree. I'm looking at Kyle Shanahan and what Kyle Shanahan does. He's the most, he does the most with his offense. He's the most creative out of any head coach in the National Football League with his offense. Then you plug in a guy like Justin Fields, who not just will beat you with his arm and can make every throw, but will beat you with his legs too. You putting that with Kyle Shanahan in this offense, man, I would love to see him with the San Francisco 49ers and let Kyle Shanahan get his hands on him and let him be creative with this guy. I think this Niners offense will be explosive and take this team to a whole nother level. I believe Justin Fields is the guy, and Kyle Shanahan is the right coach for him to put him in the best situation to go out there and succeed and continue to throw these touchdowns and run these touchdowns and be the most explosive player out there. And we've seen him in the national championship. He made Trevor Lawrence look like he was the second best quarterback in the draft. This is the guy right here if you have a chance to go get him.
Yeah, I'm gonna counter y'all with two things. Number one, I'm just gonna say this. Look, I love Justin Fields. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Justin Fields fan, but just remember this. Trey Lance ran for 1,100 yards now. I know he ran for 1,100 yards in the FCS, but if you look at this man up close, look, this is a big boy now. This guy wasn't running for 1,100 yards just on broken plays and off schedule plays. They were running quarterback power, quarterback counter, quarterback draw, and this guy was running over people looking like Steve McNair, looking like Josh Allen. Number two, I will say this. Look, I'm not going to speak to Justin Fields and/or disparage him in any way, in conjunction with some of this nonsense that you're hearing about, just how much he's committed to the game and all that stuff. I think that's just ridiculous. We know how it goes as far as the pre-draft run-up is with that. But I will tell you this, what I do know. I do know this. I do know that Trey Lance in the pre-draft run-up in his interviews is killing it as far as these interviews are concerned. His ability to explain how complicated this offense was, remember, it's the same offense that Carson Wentz ran. There are many people who believe that he is even ahead of Carson Wentz from a football intellect standpoint and his ability to understand and communicate to offensive players like y'all as far as what he's looking for pre-snap, where the ball's coming post-snap, and he's going to get it to you guys. He's that far along, although he still has a little bit, more to go. And then I'll say this lastly about Kyle Shanahan's offense. To me, although there's a lot of talk about the fact that, and I agree with you, from a defensive perspective, there's nothing worse than a quarterback that can still burn you when it isn't perfect for them, that can still get you with his legs. And I think Trey can do that. But the thing with his offense is this. Kyle feels as though I have so much that I give defenses pre-snap, and then as far as motions and shifts are concerned, there's not going to be too often that you don't have an option in my offense. I'm just looking at it from his perspective, right? So I think for him, I think the most important thing that they need out there is someone who's just going to do what he tells them to do as far, within the context of that offense, and they're going to win a Super Bowl. Jimmy Garoppolo was one pass about 2 yards away, maybe a yard away from winning the Super Bowl and probably being the MVP if he hits Emmanuel on that pass in the fourth quarter.
Well, let's say Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are watching right now, and you guys made compelling cases for both Lance and for Justin Fields. If you just convinced him not to pick Mac Jones, Lewis, how far might Jones fall in the first round?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if he gets past San Francisco and he gets past, presumably he'd get past Atlanta too, because I have not heard him connected to them at all. I think right then is when Bill starts going, okay, that being Bill Belichick, where do I need to get to? How high up do I need to go? Do I need to get 8 to Carolina? Do I need to get number 7 to Detroit? Because at 6, Miami's not going to pick him. So how far up do I need to go? What's the price I'm going to need to pay? Because he's not going to sit there and wait at 15. He's not going to. He's going to come up and try and get him. He's going to for sure want to get ahead of Denver at 9 because we don't really know what they're going to do. So I think right there, that team in particular, given the style that they like to play, would probably look at Mac Jones and say,